Ever feel like stress is making you forget things, lose focus, or just not feel like yourself anymore? That's not just in your head. Chronic stress can actually shrink parts of your brain. And the scary part? It affects your memory, your decision-making, even your mood. In the next few moments, let's break down what stress is really doing inside your brain and what that means for your everyday life. Chronic stress can shrink the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and learning. When you're under constant stress, your body releases high levels of cortisol, a hormone meant to help you deal with short bursts of danger. The problem is, when cortisol stays elevated for weeks or months, it starts to damage brain cells in the hippocampus. This area is crucial for forming new memories and connecting ideas, so when it shrinks, you may notice things like forgetting names, struggling to focus on tasks, or having trouble learning new information. Think about times when you've been overwhelmed and suddenly everything feels harder to remember. That's not just in your head, it's actually happening inside your brain. Over time, this can affect your confidence and productivity because memory is tied to how effectively you function day to day. The good news is that the brain is adaptable. Activities like regular exercise, quality sleep, and even mindfulness practices have been shown to support hippocampal health and reduce cortisol levels. Taking small steps, like going for a walk after a stressful day or setting boundaries around work, can help protect this critical part of your brain. Prolonged stress weakens the prefrontal cortex, reducing your ability to focus, plan, and make decisions. This part of your brain is like your internal manager. It helps you think clearly, weigh options, and stay organized. But under chronic stress, the brain shifts into survival mode, prioritizing immediate reactions over thoughtful decision-making. As a result, you might find yourself procrastinating more, making impulsive choices, or struggling to concentrate on tasks that used to feel easy. It's not laziness or lack of discipline, it's your brain being overwhelmed. For example, when deadlines pile up and stress builds, you might jump between tasks without finishing any of them, or feel mentally drained even after a short period of work. That's your prefrontal cortex taking a hit. To counter this, it helps to simplify your environment and reduce cognitive load. Break tasks into smaller steps, write things down instead of holding them in your head, and give yourself structured breaks. These small adjustments can help your brain regain some control and function more effectively, even under pressure. Chronic stress enlarges the amygdala, making you more reactive to fear and negative emotions. The amygdala is your brain's alarm system, responsible for detecting threats and triggering emotional responses like fear and anxiety. When stress becomes chronic, this alarm system becomes overactive and even grows stronger, meaning it reacts more intensely and more often. That's why small problems can start to feel overwhelming, or why you might find yourself snapping at people or feeling constantly on edge. It's like your brain is stuck in high alert mode, even when there's no real danger. This can strain relationships, reduce your patience, and make it harder to relax or feel safe. You might notice yourself overthinking situations or expecting the worst-case scenario without realizing why. To calm the amygdala, practices like deep breathing, meditation, or even simply pausing before reacting can make a big difference. Over time, these habits help retrain your brain to respond more calmly, reducing that constant sense of urgency and emotional overload. Long-term stress disrupts neural connections, making it harder for different parts of the brain to communicate effectively. Your brain relies on a network of connections to process information, regulate emotions, and coordinate actions. Chronic stress interferes with these pathways, almost like static disrupting a signal. When this happens, you might feel mentally foggy, slow to process information, or disconnected from your usual clarity. Tasks that require coordination, like problem-solving, multitasking, or even holding a conversation while thinking ahead, can become noticeably harder. This isn't just fatigue, it's a structural and functional issue in how your brain communicates internally. Imagine trying to have a phone call with a bad connection that's similar to what your brain experiences under prolonged stress. Supporting these connections means giving your brain the conditions it needs to repair and strengthen itself. That includes consistent sleep, proper nutrition, and downtime without constant stimulation. Even something as simple as stepping away from screens and letting your mind rest can help restore those vital connections over time. Chronic stress reduces overall brain plasticity, limiting your ability to adapt, grow, and recover from challenges. Brain plasticity is your brain's ability to change, learn, and form new connections throughout your life. It's what allows you to pick up new skills, adjust to change, and bounce back from setbacks. But when stress becomes constant, this flexibility decreases. Your brain becomes more rigid, making it harder to break out of negative thought patterns or adapt to new situations. You might feel stuck in the same habits, unable to move forward even when you want to. This can affect everything from learning new skills to maintaining motivation. For instance, starting a new project or trying a new routine might feel unusually difficult, not because you're incapable, but because your brain's adaptability is being suppressed. The key to restoring plasticity is creating conditions that signal safety and growth. Engaging in new experiences, exercising regularly, maintaining social connections, and getting enough rest all encourage the brain to become more flexible again. Over time, these habits can help you rebuild your ability to learn, adapt, and thrive despite stress.